This is KFGO for a Cause on KFGO, and Neil Van Dam is with us from the Van Dam Financial Group. Of course, Neil, welcome back.
Good morning.
And I'm Amy Iler from It Takes Two with Amy and JJ. Usually here Monday through Friday from 11 to 2, but I hang out with you and Neil on Sunday mornings. And this Sunday morning, we have Sarah Flesberg with us, the North Dakota Senior Development Manager with the Alzheimer's Association of Minnesota and North Dakota. Sarah, welcome to KFGO Radio.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so tell us about the Alzheimer's Association and your mission.
Sure. We are a nonprofit leading the way to end Alzheimer's and other dementia. We do this by supporting research, driving risk reduction and early detection, and maximizing support for anyone that has been impacted by the disease.
My understanding is that May has been an important month because you got some research. Is that what it is?
Every year we release a new facts and figures document that really outlines where we're at in the world of Alzheimer's and different statistics. So some things that this year's facts and figures highlights is that currently 1 in 3 older adults dies with Alzheimer's or another dementia, which is a really staggering statistic.
1 in 3?
1 in 3. So currently over 7 million Americans are living with the disease.
Wow. Is it localized to know what it's like here versus other places?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have some statistics specifically for North Dakota. In North Dakota, there's currently almost 14,000 people age 65 and older living with the disease and 19,000 people caring for them.
That's an incredible number. And like hard for one, I think, to get your arms around because, okay, so the research is there that this is so prevalent among so many families. What is the mission of the Alzheimer's Association? How do you reach those people and help with this journey?
Sure. So locally in North Dakota, we're really blessed because we have a grant through the state of North Dakota to provide in-person care consultations. This is something specific to North Dakota, and if someone is experiencing memory loss, or maybe they have a diagnosis and they just want their family wants some support on what to do next, they can come into our office and meet with a care consultant, or we can go out to their home even and visit with them one-on-one with whatever they might be struggling with. Maybe they need some more education. Maybe they are like, okay, what are the next steps? Mom forgot and left the oven on. What do we do next? And we can help walk them through that journey.
What is that like? Is that is problems big or small, questions big or small? It can that care consult can kind of encompass any of them? Exactly.
Yeah, whatever the person needs help with, we're there to help them.
What happens after that care consult?
We make referrals to whatever they might need, whether that's maybe they need help finding an assisted living facility to live in, or maybe they need some home health services. We can help provide referrals to those different places. And it's not a one-and-done care consultation either. We can follow up and do more than one visit with that family to help hold their hand through their journey. Because it's really can be overwhelming, especially if you go to the doctor, you get a diagnosis, and then what? Right? What do we do next? And we want to be there for people to help them through that.
I assume a lot of times that you might be the first phone call after that diagnosis.
We hope to be. There's still a lot of work with spreading awareness about this, but we hope to be the next phone call so that we can help people. People are also very overwhelmed after getting this diagnosis, right? Because, or feel alone. There's such a stigma surrounding Alzheimer's still, just like a lot of other mental health diagnosis and disabilities where people don't want to talk about it. And so another huge part of what we do is try to help end that stigma and spread awareness of the disease and help people feel like they're not alone. Because, look at those numbers, right? You're not alone. People are experiencing this all over the country. And so we want to help connect people to support groups. That's another thing that we offer. We have a local support group that meets and people get together and visit with one another, give ideas, and there's something really powerful about being around other people that are going through the same thing as you.
So working in the retirement space, this is a conversation that comes up a lot. I mean, the people's two worst fears are losing a child and Alzheimer's. I'd say are right there side by side with each other. I know I've had conversations just in the last 2 weeks with two different clients now. One of them was around 40, dealing with his dad going through this, and he's like, if it wasn't for you guys, I would have had no idea how to handle this. We've never had a conversation like that before, and just going through my dad progressing through that was one thing. Another client was in their 60s, which is actually she's introduced us, trying to get us more connected with your program, dealing with that as well. So I just wanted to say thank you. There's a lot of conversations that you don't know we're having behind the scenes, and a lot of people don't. I guess if I had a family member diagnosed, I wouldn't think like, well, what's a support group gonna bring me? But I can just say firsthand from the conversations I've had, it's extremely valuable.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
It's funny because I guess I didn't think of it right away, but you being someone who is dealing with the financial side of someone's well-being, these are so connected. Someone's mental health and a diagnosis that might impact that, and their financial well-being, these are completely connected, I guess, Neil.
Extremely. So, just not to get into the math, but I love math. If you got $1 million in your retirement account, and let's say it's all pre-tax, and you have to take out, I mean, I have one client right now, she's paying over $18,000 a month for care. So she has to take out that $18,000, but she also has to take out the money to pay tax on that $18,000. So she's taking out roughly $25,000 a month to take care of that care. Well, her spouse still has a home, still needs to take care of their living. So now all of a sudden they're taking out about $300,000 a month, or a year, sorry, $300,000 a year, but they were living on a $40,000 annual income before that. So thinking $1 million is going to last forever. And now we're looking at, 3.5 years before it's gone. So yeah, definitely. It's a big part of financial planning.
Yeah, that is. And that's such a, and that's why it's so important to have somebody like Neil. Also so important to have someone like Sarah, who both of these, people support groups, but then also assistance to try to figure out how the money piece is a big part of getting diagnosed, Sarah. I'm sure you hear that too.
Yeah, this disease costs people a lot of money, unfortunately, whether it's healthcare systems or people individually as well. But some more statistics surrounding that. In 2025, Alzheimer's and other dementia will cost the nation $384 billion. And by 2050, these costs could rise to nearly $1 trillion.
Wow. I mean, if more people could bring in numbers, Neil would be happy. He just wants to break these things down by numbers. But that's really, it's a really scary thing to know that this is the reality for a lot of families, but it's also good to know that there are people like Neil, there are people like Sarah who are helping families kind of navigate this. Now, there is one piece where you have community events too, that even if you're not being touched in this moment by Alzheimer's, that they can come in and sort of join you and be part of your mission.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we have a fundraiser coming up in October, actually. It's our Walk to End Alzheimer's.
Oh, yes.
October 4th at the Essentia Health Plaza at the Lights. This is a really great event for companies, community partners, families, individuals to get involved, come out and support each other. There's just something, I said it earlier, but something really incredible about being around other people that have experienced the same thing as you, or maybe you haven't experienced it, but just want to have a fun day, right?
Yeah.
It's free to register. It is a fundraiser, so fundraising's always encouraged, but you can register at alz.org/walk. And just really, really fun day.
Okay, I previewed this before we went to a quick commercial break, but what is the difference between Alzheimer's and dementia?
Sure. Alzheimer's is a form of dementia. So dementia is the overall umbrella term, and then we have specific diseases that sit underneath that umbrella like Alzheimer's disease. And Alzheimer's is the most common form of dementia. And so other types of dementia might be vascular dementia or Parkinson's disease, just to name a couple. We're called the Alzheimer's Association, but we help people with all different forms of dementia. Alzheimer's is the most common form, however, accounting for about 60 to 80% of dementia cases.
So if someone were to be diagnosed with another form of dementia, they could also reach out for one of the care consults that you were talking about?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep, we help people with any kind or form of dementia. So some other services that we offer at the Alzheimer's Association is a 24/7 helpline. So people can call that helpline day or night to get help, again, with whatever they might be dealing with at the time. Another service that we offer is community and corporate education. So we can come into a different company or community group like the library and host an education class, partner with that company or community group to do a class on the 10 warning signs of Alzheimer's or dementia, or how to communicate with your loved one that has dementia.
Can we talk about some of those warning signs right now?
First of all, what's the helpline number?
Oh, yeah. Good question.
That's a great number. Thank you for jumping in there. Yeah, the helpline number is 1-800-272-3900.
800-272-3900. Again, with the numbers, if it's not financial, it's a phone number that he's coming through for us with. Now I forgot what my question was.
10 warning signs.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Okay, so let's get back to the warning signs. Can we go over some of the 10 warning signs that you talk about? Maybe we can just list them all. I don't know how in detail they are, but maybe go over a few of the big ones or the ones that people talk about the most.
Yeah, so some of the major warning signs that somebody might be struggling is forgetting something that they normally would have remembered and not being able to come up with it later, right? I think oftentimes people will forget something and then wonder, oh my gosh, I wonder if that's dementia. But one of the things we ask people to look for is if you remember later or can come up with it in a few minutes, then it's probably not something to worry about, or that could be just a sign of normal aging. But if it's forgetting something and not catching it or not being able to remember later, that's usually a sign of concern. Another warning sign, man, you put me on the spot. I'm struggling now. Losing your keys or misplacing items is another issue that people might be of a concern.
Let's talk about some of the myths, because I assume with any diagnosis that there are a lot of myths that people have that an organization like yours wants to get out ahead of. What are some Alzheimer or dementia myths?
I think a lot of people might believe that you're diagnosed with Alzheimer's and that then you pass away from the disease, but oftentimes it's a complication from Alzheimer's that actually causes the death. So Alzheimer's causes the body to deteriorate and you forget how to do things. So forgetting how to swallow or forgetting how to walk are some really huge issues that come along with it. And then if you're forgetting how to swallow, you're aspirating and getting pneumonia, and that's what the person usually passes away from, not the actual disease itself.
One question I have, and maybe you don't know the answer, it's fine if you don't, but I know I visit with a lot of people whose family members are going through that, getting to the point where they don't recognize them anymore. And it's really tough for them to go see it. So people either just go all in and are there every day and need to be every minute with them, and then other people go the exact opposite and say, I can't see them anymore because they don't know who I am and it's just crushing my soul. Is there a best action approach that people should think about doing?
I think, or we believe that human connection is really important, right? And one of the things to help people stay healthier longer is that human connection. And so we really encourage to go visit your loved one if you're able. We know it can be really difficult because that may not seem like your loved one anymore, or who your loved one was is no longer there. But just that being able to hold their hand and them hear your voice, and even if they don't know who you are, a lot of times we hear people with dementia say, I don't know who you are, but I know that I love you. right? And so the feeling and the emotions are still there, and that's really important.
I always hear also how impactful not only human connection is, but music can be with Alzheimer's.
Yes. Yeah. We have seen lots of different studies on this, as well as I've seen it personally working in long-term care, that if music can really pull people out, and people that haven't spoken in a long time are still able to sing songs, or you put someone that used to play music in front of a piano and they can't speak anymore, but they can play songs. That muscle memory is still there. It's really, really incredible.
That is so incredible. Okay, so if people want to reach out to you, is it really anybody, a group that wants to learn more, a family who has someone who's just been diagnosed, a caregiver? It sort of is everybody under the Alzheimer's Association.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have a local office in Fargo here that people can call for help. That number is 701-277-9757. We can help with those education classes. And one last thing that I didn't mention is we also do research presentations. We have a research champion here in North Dakota who can talk about our latest research that we're doing nationwide. There are now treatments available for Alzheimer's that are FDA approved for the very first time ever.
What are the treatments?
So there's 2 treatments available. They are Kisunla and Leqembi. They're infusions, and they're only available for people that are really early on with Alzheimer's. And so early detection is a huge focus of ours right now. Going to the doctor, not pushing off getting that diagnosis, so that you can have these treatments as an option if it's appropriate for you.
How are you diagnosed with Alzheimer's or dementia?
Alzheimer's is diagnosed through a series of testing by a neurologist, and then further, to see if you're appropriate for these treatments, they'll either do a spinal tap or an amyloid PET scan to detect if there's a buildup of that plaque in the brain. And then if so, and you're early enough in the disease, these treatments might be an option for you.
That's incredible. That's brand new information to me. I had no idea. Did you know that, Neil?
Yes.
You did?
There's a lot of companies that are worth investing in.
Okay. There you go. Yeah, I had no idea that there were 2 treatments available to. And when you say you have to be diagnosed early, what does that mean?
So before Alzheimer's, we're often seeing people diagnosed with mild cognitive impairment. And a lot of neurologists will say we really want to see people in that mild cognitive impairment in order to be appropriate for these treatments. Sure. And so it's a really exciting time. Prior to 2021, you were given a diagnosis and there were treatments that would help with the symptoms. But these treatments are affecting the underlying biology of the disease. They're going into the brain and removing the plaque buildup that we believe causes Alzheimer's, and helping people live longer without the decline, or not as the decline doesn't happen as quickly as it would have. So we want people to have options out there, and we're excited to see where things go from here, because more and more research is done, and it's an exciting time, that's for sure.
Sarah Flesberg has been with us, North Dakota Senior Development Manager at the Alzheimer's Association, and you can check them out online. Did you say it's alz.org?
Yes, that's
as
correct.
Easy as that, alz.org, or just Google it. You'll find it. 701-277-9757 is their phone number. The 24/7 helpline, I'll repeat that one more time as well, 800-272-3900. And then, of course, we'll see you at the Alzheimer's Walk on October 4th at the Lights.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for being here.